So this woman says that a demon ended up possessing her husband and then tried to repossess him later. This story is absolutely wild and it's terrifying. And it's crazy to think that this could happen to anybody. Tonight's submitter did not tell me whether I could use her real name or not, so I am going to be calling her Jackie. Jackie comes from a family of sensitives, and sometimes they joke about their sensitivity being contagious, and in this case, it was. In 2020, her daughter, who was 7 at the time, and her boyfriend, who was an atheist, and her were living in a 2-bedroom apartment on the 4th floor. They had a downstairs neighbor that was an older gentleman who was sickly, and before COVID, they would bring groceries and his mail down to the 1st floor for him. His bedroom was right below theirs, and every single night at 3 a.m. he would have these coughing fits and they could hear him. It actually sounded like he was being choked at times, and then one day it just stopped. No wheezing, no heavy breathing, nothing, just dead silence. It became so constant that it was literally a part of their everyday life. They'd wake up, comment on it, and then go back to sleep. And then the night came where they weren't awoken by his coughing anymore, and then another night, and then another night, and then one day they come home to this horrible stench in their apartment, hanging thick and heavy along the entire 3rd and 4th floors. After about 2 days and the stench just getting worse, she asked her boyfriend, "When was the last time that you heard him cough?" "I don't know," her boyfriend said with a look of concern. And then the next day, the coroner's van was outside of that old man's apartment. He was dead, asphyxiation from what they could tell without an autopsy. But this is when things got strange. Her cousin, who was her next door neighbor, and his girlfriend worked nights. And so she agreed to watch their children for them while they worked. One evening, his girlfriend's 2-year-old son walked into the bedroom and said, "There's a man in my closet with red eyes, but don't worry, I'll beat him up." Bam, bam, he's gone, the little boy said. So at this point, her boyfriend is working overnight. So he had his brother stay with Jackie, her little cousins, her daughter, and the little boy that she was watching, just for some extra protection. And one night, the brother-in-law has an experience, and he asked Jackie, "Hey, were you walking around last night? Because I heard someone walking around in the living room, and then I went to go turn on the light and nobody was there." To which Jackie replied, "No, I wasn't." The very next night, his brother was busy, so he wasn't able to stay with them. So she decided to test this theory herself. She put her daughter to bed, she went out into the living room, and she turned off the lights, and she just sat in the dark. About 5 minutes later, she starts to hear footsteps. And then she hears paper rustling on the table where the mail is, right in front of her. Unafraid, because she was used to seeing spirits at this point, or them making appearances, she waited until it got eerily close, and then she turned on the lamp that was beside her. And there was